Every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in the giant garden. It was a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there, over the grass, stood a beautiful flowers like stars. And there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into the light blossom of pink and pearls, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. "How happy we are here!" they cried to each other. One day the giant came back. He had been to visit his friend the Cornish ogre and had stayed with him for 7 years. After the 7 years were over, he had said all that he had to say, for his conversation was limited, and he determined to return to his own castle. When he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What are you doing here?" he cried in a very gruff voice, and the children ran away. "My own garden is my own garden," said the giant. "Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself." So he built a high wall around it and put up a notice board. "Trespasser will be prosecuted." He was a very selfish giant.
The poor children had no here to play. They tried to play on the road, but the road was very dusty and full of hard stones, and they did not like it. They used to wander around the high wall when their lessons were over and talk about the beautiful garden inside. "How happy we were there," they said to each other. Then the spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in the garden of the shellfish giant it was still winter. The bird did not care to sing it as there were no children, and the tree forgot to blossom. Once a beautiful flower put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it very sorry for the children that it slipped back into the ground again and went off to sleep. The only people who were pleased were the snow and the frost. "Spring have forgotten this garden," they cried, "so we will live here all the year round." The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver.
Then they invited the North went to stay with him, and he came. He was wafted in first, and the herald into day about the garden and blows the ancient pots down. This is the league full of sport. He said, "We must as the hail on a face." So hail came every day for 3 hours. He railed on the roof of the chester, then broke much of the stars, and the ten he ran round and round the garden as far as he could go. Dressed in grey, and his breath was like ice. I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming," said the selfish giant as they set the window and looked out at this cold wind garden. "I hope they will change in the weather, but but the spring never came, nor the autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but the garden say give none. He is so selfish, said sighed, so it was always winter tree, and the north wind, and the halt, and the force, and the soul dances about through the trees.
One morning together, washing Mike in bed when harp or some love music. It's so sweet his air that it got it music the king music passing by. It soared his window put it we so long so said he bird heart I bring sing in his garden that is sent to him but like most beautiful music in the world. That the hand he held spread the touching overhead and the word wings might roar and days perform came to him toward on open kinds. Bathing the spring has come at length, said again, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. When did he see he saw most wonderful sight? What they say how saw most wonderful sight? Through I light hole into the wall, children had crept in, and they were sheltering in the base of stairs. In very tray that he could see three was all they chilled, and the trees were called to have the garden back again that they had covered themselves with birds.
The trees were waving their arms gently above the children's heads. The birds were flying about and twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing. It was a lovely scene, only in one corner it was still winter. It was the farthest corner of the garden, and in it was standing a little boy. He was so small that he could not reach up to the branches of the tree, and he was wandering all around it, crying bitterly. The poor tree was still quite covered with frost and snow, and the north wind was blowing and roaring above it. "Climb up, little boy," said the tree, and it bent its branches down as low as it could, but the boy was too tiny. And the giant's heart melted as he looked out. "How selfish I have been," he said. "Now I know why the spring would not come here. I will put that poor little boy on the top of the tree, and then I will knock down the wall, and my garden shall be the children's playground forever and ever." He was really very sorry for what he had done.
So he crept downstairs and opened the front door within softly, and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they were so frightened that they ran away, and the garden became winter again. Only the little boy did not run, for his eyes were so full of tears that he did not see the giant coming. And the giant stood up behind him and took him gently in his hand, and put him up into the tree, and the tree
broke its wand into blossom, and the breeze came and sung on it. And the little boy stretched out his two arms and flung them around the giant neck and kissed him. And the other children, when they saw that the giant was not wicked any longer, came running back, and with them came the sprite. It is your garden now, little children said. And the giant, and he took the great axe and knocked down the wall. And when the people were going to market at 12 o'clock, they found the giant playing with the children in the most beautiful garden they had ever seen.
All day long they played, and in the evening they come to the giant to bid him goodbye. "But where is your little companion?" he said. "The boy I put into the tree." The giant loved him the best because he had kissed him. "We don't know," answered the children. "He has gone away. You must tell him to be sure and come here tomorrow," said the giant. But the children say that they did not know where he lived and had never seen him before. And the giant felt really sad. Every afternoon, when the school was over, the children come and play with the giant. But the little boy whom the giant loved was never seen again. The giant was very kind to all the children, yet he longed for his first little friend, and often spoke of him. "How I would like to see him," he used to say. Years went over, and the giant grew very old and feeble. He could not play about anymore, so he sat in a huge armchair and watched the children in their game and admired his garden. "I have many beautiful flowers," he said, "but the children are the most beautiful flower of all." One winter morning, he looked out his window as he was dressing. He did not hate the winter now, for he knew that was merely the spring asleep, and that the flowers were resting. Suddenly, he rubbed his eyes and wondered, and looked, and looked. It certainly was a marvelous sight. In the farthest corner of the garden was a tree quite covered with lovely white blossoms. Its branches were all golden, and the silver fruit hung down from them, and underneath it stood the little boy he had loved. Downstairs runs the giant in a great joy, and out into the garden. He hastened across the grass and come near to the child, and when he come quite close, his face grew red with anger, and he said, "Who had dared to wound thee?" For the palms of the child's hands were the prints of 2 nails, and the prints of 2 nails were on the little feet. "Who had dared to wound thee?" cried the giant. "Tell me, that I may take my big sword and slay him." "Nay," answered the child, "but these are wounds of love." "Who art thou?" said the giant, and a strange awe fell on him, and he knelt before the little child. And the child smiled on the giant and said to him, "You let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to my garden, which is paradise." And when the children ran in that afternoon, they found the giant laying dead under the tree, all covered with white blossom.